the brand's just an extension of ourselves, you know, like we're Wellness Made Simple and we're for busy people.
This is The Payoff with me, Sylvia Jeffries. Scott and Elle, welcome to The Payoff.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm so delighted to have you in here because you've got so much to cover off, so much to talk about, not just from what you're doing today in your business world, but also I think through your life stories as well. But what I haven't been able to determine in researching you both is how you met. So how did you meet?
Yeah, I think Elle, you're pretty good
pretty
at telling this one.
So I had finished my PT course. I think it was the end of 2013, and I didn't really learn too much from it. So I found a friend. I was like, hey, can I follow you around at the gym? And so I went with her for the day, and she was like, oh, you should go and see Mads. He's really good at doing the strength and conditioning. And I was like, oh, nah, it's okay. I'll just watch you. Yeah. Anyway, and then we were sitting in the lunchroom, and everyone was sitting around and talking, and Scott was like, so what are you going to do with your PT course when you finish? And I was quite shy this time. And I
wasn't trying to crack on.
No.
I was legit asking, what are you doing?
Anyway, and then I was like, oh, I don't know, probably nothing. And he's like, oh, sweet, I'm buying a gym. Do you want a job? And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so then the gym opened in 2014. Yep. And Scott kind of became almost like my mentor in a way. Because I was kind of
guiding
fresh. Yeah, and then he'd been doing PT for a long time, so that was my first time doing it. And I remember getting to the gym, and I was like, "So what do I do now?" And then I just had to.
I think I saw that potential in you. I was like, "Oh, she's keen. She's doing some work experience. She's getting involved. She was training herself. She was hungry." So I thought, you'd make a good part of the team. So.
Yeah. More than part of the team.
Yeah, that's it.
We went together straight away. It took 4 years for us to realise what we liked.
It took a while. And honestly, I think we were working together for about 4 or 5 years. 4 years?
Yeah.
Was it really 4 years?
Yeah, we were like working together and just kind of, it was not on the cards, right? Like it was never like, we never had like a bond where it was like, I never saw it as a relationship. I'm pretty sure you would be in a relationship and you're like, what do you think about this guy? And I'm like, oh, he's okay. It was really strange. But
you weren't standing in a way.
I was always like, no, Scott's like a brother. That's so weird.
Yeah.
And over time, like we just started, chatting business and, hearing each other's goals. And then, it just slowly bonded over 4 years. And then it got to a point where we're kind of like, maybe we should see if this works. But there was that fine line because we were working together as well. And I didn't want to tarnish anything that she'd built because you were obviously building your business inside the gym. And it would have just been a bit weird. But it's all worked out. And here we are.
So how was the first date?
The first date? I can't really remember what
I feel like we went for a bushwalk.
Did we? Or maybe we went out for a drink. I think we went out for a drink.
Oh, yeah, we went to a different location because we were like, we don't want anyone to see us. In case this doesn't work, we're still friends.
Yeah, so we went for a drink and then, it was just kind of kicked off. And then I think from there it was, we just had a lot of social events at the time. So I think it was around Christmas maybe, like it was coming in that festive season. So we're always out bumping into each other and like, hey, it's... Yeah. And then it formed into what it is now,
Well, as we record, you're on the cusp of getting married. You have two little boys together as well. So life has definitely barreled by for both of you.
Sure, we're well and truly into it.
Yeah. Well, let's go back a little bit before we get into the business side of things. Scott, you have spoken quite a bit about how you were when you were around about the age of 20 in a bit of a stuck scenario. You weren't really moving forward in your life, you say. What was going on for you at that stage of your life?
Yeah, I think back then I was going through school and I was just failing miserably at school. I wasn't really attending and I didn't really have anything I was interested in school. And then got to the HSC, which obviously I was super stressed about because I knew I was going to fail. Failed the HSC and I was just really completing year 11 and 12 just to be there and just to show up and do what I thought was right and have fun along the way. And I went through that and that all ended. And then once that ended, I was kind of left to be like, okay, now I got to get a job. And I didn't have any real working experience. So I actually worked it out the other day that, I've only been employed for 3 years my whole life. So I was employed at a surf shop, which I was there for about a year. And then I started a horticulture course, which stuck around for about 2 years. So the rest, I've just kind of just been back on myself and started throughout business. So when I left school, I was quite lost and I decided to start a mowing business and I was mowing people's lawns and going through that. And yeah, I guess I was just living week to week. It all started to kind of crumble when my parents had a divorce. So parents had a divorce, and I was kind of torn between, do I go with my mum or do I go with my dad? And it was just a bit of a awkward scenario, and I decided not to go with any of them, and I decided to just go out on my own and figure it all out as I went through. And
how old were you at that point?
I think I was 19. So obviously, failing at school, my parents got a divorce. I had no real education behind me. It was a really hard time to be employed back then, and I had to go on Centrelink. So, and at the time when my mum split with my father, she also had to go on Centrelink. So we got to this point where to get paid on Centrelink, it wasn't that I wasn't looking for work. I was hungry for work. I wanted to work. It was just no one was really employing, and then no one was employing someone that didn't have any what's that word, like
experience. Like work experience.
Yeah, no real work experience. So there I was with my mum in a demountable, and you had to go there for 8 hours a day and go through the newspaper and call people to say, hey, like, it's Scott here, I wanted to get a job, I'm really keen, and they would just shut you down. So you had to do that to get paid $600 a fortnight. So got to that point where I was just flat and depressed, and yeah, it was a really just challenging time.
I think that's a really interesting topic and point to sit on, and I wonder what that's sort of taught you, or what you want other people to know about what it is like to be in that situation when you're receiving benefits, when you're on Centrelink, trying to find a job, because there is some stigma still attached to that, and a perception sometimes that some people aren't genuinely looking for a job when they're receiving Centrelink. What would you want people to know about what it's like to be in that situation?
Yeah, well, it was a pretty daunting situation. So it was at this time where, like, I didn't see a life in my 30s. Like, it's kind of weird to say, like, I didn't really see my life getting to 30s because I was at such a low point that, like, a family was like, how am I going to provide for a family? How am I ever going to have a house? How am I ever going to just be this person? And I guess, like, you just get to that rock bottom, and you lose a bit of fear, I think, as well. Like, you become a bit fearless, and I can see that you can take two ways in life. You can go a bit more of a rogue life, and you can go a bit more of trying to straighten your life out.
And at what point did you decide to pack it all up and move to the jungle in Thailand?
I came to that fork in the road where I decided to remove myself from Australia and go and live in Thailand. And what I was passionate about at the time was exercise and training. I've always been really good at sports because I've had a passion for sports and competing. I've always been competing in sports, and I decided to continue my Muay Thai, so kickboxing, over in Thailand. It was the best place to train in Thailand. And it was before any of these retreats and everything were going. So it was literally just me packing my bags and living over there till my money ran out. And at the time, like, it wasn't much money, but back then I was able to rent a place for $40 a month, so it was just a toilet, a bed, and it was really, like, roughing it a bit.
$40 a month?
A month, yeah. It was nothing. There was no 5-star.
My God.
That's for sure. So, and, you were eating certain foods that was super fresh, but because you were kind of in the jungle, it was really cheap. They'd just rock up with 50 chickens on a big stick, and you just pull the chicken off, and it was $2, right? Like,
wow. So how long did you spend there? How long were you living like that for?
I spent 6 months. I went over there with the goal in mind to obviously not drink alcohol, and just go over there with a vision to change my life and just work out what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted, and it all came and it really clicked. It, like, literally just hit me like a ton of bricks, where I was training twice a day, and I was just immersed in the fitness and getting really healthy and just preparing myself up to fight over in Thailand. And I was training, and one of the girls that was there just kind of saw me doing, like, my own circuit in the corner of the gym. Like, it wasn't anything special, this gym, just a couple of dumbbells and some mirrors. And she asked, like, if she could join in, and I said, yeah, like, you start doing this, I'll do this, and we'll just change every 45 seconds. And then, we're getting the sweat up, and she was like, so do you do this? Like, you a PT? And then when she said that, I was just like, I'm not, but, like, that's, like, I would love that. And then I got this hunger inside me after hearing her, ask me if I was a PT. I just never really clicked. Like, I was just doing it to sort my life out. And then I was like, wow, I could probably help people change, like, through my style of fitness. And that's kind of, once that fueled that fire, I spent another month or two there. And just really just figuring out when I get back to Australia what my plan was.
I mean, fitness for a lot of us is something we like to be able to squeeze into our week around everything else. For the two of you, it's really foundational, isn't it? And I know for you, Elle, you haven't always had a happy relationship with health and fitness, have you? Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah,
about
so
that?
when I was going through school, I went through like a really bad bullying and everything like that. And so my way of dealing with that was then through emotional eating. And so at the time as well, my parents were divorcing too. So I feel like, there's just so much upheaval in your life too. And it's like, what can I control? And this was like the one thing that I was doing. And then I would be training at the gym. And then my weight kept going up in the scales. And I was like, what? I'm exercising. Like, I don't really understand that. And then I said to my mum, like, I really want to learn food because I just had no idea about it. And so at the time I was working, like ever since I've been 13, I've had a job. So I, saved up my money and then I went and saw a naturopath and he basically taught me all about food from 14 years old. And so I started, started learning about that, putting it into practice. And then, I feel like fitness was really the one thing that completely changed my life and, building discipline and building habits and routines that support you. And, you always think, well, if I can do this in the gym, like, why can't I do this in other areas of my life too? So I, went on to when I was about after school. So 18, 19, I then went into fitness modeling and started competing. So then I would have coaches. But I feel like nowadays there's so much information online and it gets so overwhelming. And I just really like to make it simple, for people. So I went on to study a Bachelor of Health Science in Nutritional Medicine. And I went dabbled in the veganism and everything like that. And everything that I've come back to is we just need to make it simple. You just eat real food if it's grown naturally. Well,
you're so right. I mean, I scroll through Instagram. I think my algorithm is very much swung in a health and fitness kind of way. And there are a lot of people saying crazy things like, don't even eat fruit.
Yeah.
Because there's too much sugar in it, right? And I mean, I understand the point that, there's obviously a certain amount of sugar, but you have to eat fruit. And I think there's a danger in saying in a statement like that, like a 100%. Sweeping statement like that as well, don't you think?
Yeah, because you're being told, oh, you need to eat a high protein diet. So you'll literally be in the grocery store being like, should I have a banana or should I have a protein bar with 100 different ingredients in there?
Have the banana.
Eat the natural one, babe. I think now my passion, because I do a lot of online coaching as well, is really trying to help women simplify because we have so much on our plate. I have a lot of women that I'm working with who are very career driven. They're mothers, they're studying, they just have so much on. So if I can try and really simplify things and talking from our own experience as well, then, that's literally bleeds into what we do with Forward Form is making it simple. This is all wellness habits. Longevity is key.
I think it's obvious that you both are very entrepreneurial, but also really happy working for yourselves more so than, for someone else, which speaks to a lot of people, resonates with a lot of people, especially people who I think haven't done well at school and then go on in life and they don't go well working for a big boss. And I think finding your own avenue and your own path is clearly something that has spoken to both of you. So when did you both decide to sort of tap into your entrepreneurial spirit, but together as a couple?
That was after we got together with Bolorama.
Yeah, I think we've I guess my entrepreneurial came in where I just couldn't be employed. It wasn't like when I was younger, I was running around the schoolyard, flipping certain things, lollies and making a profit. I wasn't that person.
You didn't have a lemonade stand.
Yeah, I didn't have that. And I was just passionate over everything. For me, it was never about the money. And, growing up, I never really had, I never understood the value of money. So it was really came down to, I want to really live a life that I'm proud of and I want to live it on my terms because I suffered so hard to try and get employed and not having a proper education. So, it kind of came about. And I think, Elle, I think we saw strengths in each other. Yeah. I'm probably more of the risk taker. You're probably a bit more reserved in some sense, but you helped me out a lot. And
Yeah, I think we gel really well together.
Yeah.
And so Bolarama was the first.
Yeah, after we got
Joint
together, that
venture?
was like when I was first dabbling in like veganism and like
Yeah.
acai bowls. And, you know, I was the same too, where I thought, oh, too much fruit is not good. And then I was like, oh, I can eat like 2 pieces of fruit and not gain weight.
Yeah.
And so then we started looking into acai and everything like that. And we went to Bali. And then we were like, oh, let's just start a smoothie bowl bar when we come back. But we were very much like, it has to be sugar-free because you go and get acai now and it's just full of sugar.
It's full of honey. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more stuff in it. So we, like, you know, we kept our ingredients very simple and we added all superfoods and everything like that. Yeah, so that's probably where we started. And then how we came into Forward Form then was we realised that just, you know, from having the gym and speaking to people when they were ordering smoothie bowls and whatnot, we were having conversations around protein and realised like, oh, people aren't having enough protein. So, then we decided to make our own protein powder.
Yeah. So what were the lessons that you took from Bolarama? You've sold Bolarama now as a business. What were the lessons you took from that business into Forward?
I think it was really crazy time. Like we started this business and we again it was focusing on what we loved and what we enjoyed, and this was kind of before like smoothie bowls were like a massive thing. And like honestly, like nowhere to lie, like we had Vitamixes going up in smoke because like of how hammered we were getting, and the business scaled really fast. And we started opening these franchises, and like we were so like raw into like franchising, but we had all these people like calling us up and wanting to like, I've got a spot, I've got a lease ready, like can you franchise the model? And we had like a solicitor in play, and everything was moving super, super fast. And what happened was we started this business and we didn't like hospitality. Like we didn't.
It's a tough game.
We got to one stage and we're like, how did we end up in hospitality?
Yeah.
We're like, I'm not sure about this is us.
People were calling us and my phone was just ringing, and people were like, hey, like, because on our website we had like become a franchisee, and like people were calling us, and then it got to the point where like I was hanging up the phone. I'm like this guy wants one, but we're not doing it because I don't want to do this anymore. So as the brand was scaling, we just kind of peeled out before we got immersed too deep into it. We didn't really want to get stuck in the business. So we sold the business and then onto new owners, and we just started pursuing Forward Form.
Do you have any regrets about selling the business?
No. Not at all. No.
It was fun. We learned so much. Like I'd never worked a till before, and obviously not having any real jobs previously, like I'd never been on a till.
Yeah, right.
And I was on the till, and like, you know, like it was crazy. And again, I'm not amazing at maths either, right? So like people are like, you know, what's the change in there? And I'm just like,
that's high stress.
And then there was people like lines of 40 people. Yeah, and I'm on the till, like first time. I'm ducking down under the till, going, oh my god.
So no regrets.
No, but I think if anything, having that business, like it really taught us about branding and
building
about
a team, like,
community and everything like that, and having a really good team in place, but also knowing that bigger isn't always better. So it's really about building a very genuine and authentic brand nowadays, and like, well, not that it wasn't authentic, but just making sure that's really in line with our values and what we're trying to achieve in life.
So for the uninitiated with Forward Form, tell us what you're doing there. What's the MO?
So Forward Form is a natural supplement company. We also do athleisure as well. And full circle moment is the naturopath that we work with is actually the naturopath that I saw when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
And is actually the same guy that Scott bought the gym off.
Wow.
So we've done a full, I don't even know what you call that, but we've
just come back to like our roots, and the brand's just an extension of ourselves, you know, like we're Wellness Made Simple, and we're for busy people, right? Yeah. And we know that it's so saturated, and there's so many things out there, what we spoke about before, but I guess it's just coming back to, you know, whole foods are always going to be the number one, but it's our supplements that are just going to be those little habits throughout the day that are going to help motivate you. And you've got those certain ingredients that we put into our supplements, and the protein, hitting the right milligrams of ingredients, and just making sure that people are using supplements to get closer to their goals.
So I have a protein smoothie every morning before I come to work because, again, busy. I've got 2 minutes to get my breakfast ready. I'm out the door. Yeah. But I'm one of these people who stands in the shop and looks at all the protein and goes, where do I even start? There's like pea protein, whey protein, all different kinds of protein. So what do I need to look for? What is the key?
I think like for us is having a really simple ingredient list. So we've got like 5 ingredients and we know all of them. So I think when you pick up bags of protein and there's a very extensive list, I think that's the first warning sign. But also I think like what does the brand stand for that you're buying from? We really try and lean into being the people that, like we said before, the brand is an extension of who we are and our beliefs and what. Like, so if you come to us and be like, okay, I'm not going to eat meat anymore, I'm just going to have protein, would you be like, oh, maybe like look at other protein sources as well. Like, food always comes first, or you have a greens powder, but still make sure you're having your fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I think it's also like, again, being in a saturated market, like there is no quick fixes, and we haven't built a brand to scale to, $100 million brand like all these other brands out there. Like everyone's so heavy on scaling, but we kind of come down to building a brand that people love, that we want to, we're here for the long run, and we want to build trust with our community, which we have been for the past 3.5 years, and I think that's so important. It's what Elle was saying.
That's really interesting because a lot of brands come and go, especially in the fitness world. You see, by the way, I think I've been saying it wrong all this time. Athleisure. It's athleisure. I say athleisure.
Unless I'm saying it wrong.
I've been doing it wrong. No, it's definitely me. It's definitely me.
Might be us, I know.
No. That's something I would definitely get wrong. So you see these brands come and go, right? And they're hot for a minute and then they're gone, or they've folded or bankrupt or whatever. So you're saying your goal here is sort of stay middle?
Like a long game.
We want to, we're the long game where, our goal is to obviously scale the brand. Like we want to be Australia's #1 trusted wellness brand. Like that's what's motivating us at the moment. Like we want to be a brand that people can trust, which obviously, we wake up each day focused on how we can get our brand into more household. And I think it's just building that trust with the community for sure.
Distribution is hard, and getting stockists is challenging as well. Where do you sell your products, and where do you most successfully sell your products?
Yeah, well, we're 95% online. Like we've kind of pulled ourselves back. We don't really want to sell to everyone, like as in wholesaling. Like we don't want to have our product in just every shop or every store. We kind of withhold. So if anyone wants to purchase our products, they want to get their story, and we want to understand like what that looks like and what you guys are currently doing. And I guess we're just kind of we're holding a little bit tighter with our brand and where we stock it. And obviously we want to get it out to everyone, but I guess we're just kind of
make sure it's the right
make
fit.
Sure it's the right fit.
Yeah. Well, you have control over it that way. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we're still learning so much as well. Like it's our first time being in e-com, so it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. I'm sure that as business owners, it's really easy to want to jump on trends because there's a quick fix, or there's a quick hit or a money hit in something like that, and trends come and go so fast. But how do you resist that temptation, or how do you sort of embrace a trend in a way that's going to be sustainable? What's your approach to that?
You go.
You're a gentleman.
I think, like what we said, we don't believe there's shortcuts or anything like that. It's all about, doing it for longevity and really putting your health first. So, we always see different trends. And when these things pop up, we're like, okay, does this deserve a spot in our product line? And one that we have been working on for a very long time, actually, which I'm so excited to release, is hydration. And when it first popped up, because I know it's really big in the US and we saw it booming over there as well, and we were kind of just like, let's do our own research into it. And honestly, like the research that we did, we were like, wow, we need this, and this deserves a spot, because people don't realize that a lot of the times they're dehydrated. Like, you got brain fog or your energy's low, but you really need to replenish your electrolytes as well.
Well, once upon a time there was Hydrolyte and there was Gatorade.
Yep.
Right? And now there is a huge growing market of hydration drinks. So again, what does your research and your understanding tell us about what you need in a good hydration drink?
Well, you need a good mix of all your electrolytes and your salts and whatnot, but just making sure that they're really good quality. So that's why we work with our naturopath and make sure that we're using the best of the best, and we do the research, like, you know, these are the really good brands or ranges at the moment. Like, let's see how we can do it better. Let's really break it down. Is it good, you know, is this serving the athlete or is this serving the everyday person who is running a business, has kids, trains? So that's really our goal, because like we said, this is an extension of who we are and what we need. So let's give it to people who are, you know, in similar situations to us.
On a personal level, it's been in many ways a really tough time recently for both of you, both losing your dads within what, like a couple of months?
5 weeks.
Of each, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
And both unexpectedly?
Yeah, it was
cardiac arrest.
Wow.
Yeah, not the year that we had anticipated, that's for sure. I think, like, yeah, it's a really big thing trying to wrap your head around it, I suppose you would say. Like, yeah, with my dad, you know, we know that it happened, and there was things that were done to, you know, preserve his life and whatnot, and we got a weekend to say goodbye to him, and that was really important to us. And I think, like, with Scott's dad, yeah, it's a little bit
it's a bit
harder to understand.
Yeah, my dad had a double lung transplant, so, you know, very brave man going in for a double lung transplant. And the transplant was actually successful. Like, he succeeded the transplant, and so at the moment it's still at the coroner's. So I don't really know the cause as of yet. So he did suffer a cardiac arrest, but seconds count when someone starts CPR on someone. Seconds are crucial. So there's still some questions and marks around there, and I guess what's kind of giving us the strength is my dad was someone that, you know, he never wanted to put anyone out, and I guess you know, if he's looking down, it's you know, he wouldn't want to see me, you know, like wounded, right? He want to see me continuing on, and obviously it's such a challenging time, and you know, it's not easy, but you know, it's kind of like you're just showing him that, you know, I can continue.
I'm so sorry, and I can't even imagine how hard it must have been for both of you
to
go through that at the same time, because at a time like that, you really lean on your partner, and when you're both experiencing grief at the same time on that level, it must be extraordinarily difficult. Plus, you've got a business to run. You don't just get to take time off. You've got 2 kids of your own as well. Do you feel like you've had time to really grieve?
Gosh,
so a lot of people kind of say, like, you know, you should take some time to grieve and everything, and you know, I think day by day you just kind of get stronger. It's like in the gym, right? Like, you get stronger the more you push the weights, and it's you're always carrying it, like every single day. Like, you don't realize how much you actually think about someone when you lose someone, especially a parent, and you know, you think of them every minute, and I think you just get stronger at carrying that. So every day, it doesn't go, it never goes, it never disappears. I think you just get stronger, right? And
and I think, like, every good moment, or, you know, you look at the stars or the sky and you're like, oh, my dad loved, like, taking photos of that. Like, there's so many things that just remind you of them. And I was actually listening to a podcast on grief, and they were speaking about this thing called grief brain, and, you know, just how you have so much brain fog and you're basically just functioning and, you know, taking one day at a time. And I was like, God, I don't even know how we got through that period. I mean, you know, we still had, like, there's still weeks where it's harder than others, or something will come up, or it'll be 6 months since they passed and whatnot. But I think, like, the thing that got us through the most was having our kids there, because, like, they just pick up on everything, and, like, their energy, you don't even need to say anything, and they would just come sit with you and cry and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, hi, Granddad, hi, Fafa, and I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, they're up there. And I'm like,
they knew, but they didn't know what was going on, you know, and that was so sweet. Like, during that time, it was like, that was our saviour, our kids.
100%. Yeah, I think it's just we're still in such disbelief that we both had such similar stories. Like, with my dad, he just got back to work. He'd been at work for a week after being cleared from blood cancer, and so he'd just gotten back to work. He had, like, a heart check and everything before, and then he just had dropped dead, and then people were working on him, and the ambulance got there after 23 minutes. So I kind of like when I saw him, I was just like, oh, yeah. I just think you kind of grieve as you see them. And then we got a really nice last weekend with him, played the Bee Gees the whole time, and we played the Bee Gees at our wedding to honour him, and we have your dad's car there. Yeah, there'll be little things, but...
I think you hold on to certain things, like when my dad passed, like, even though it was just such a bizarre situation, and like we had friends around him and family, and we were laughing, like, on his final breath, and you just have this, you just trying to like remember the good times, and then I hang on to this feeling, like when he did pass, that when he did take his final breath, I did feel peace. I don't know why, like I did feel that, like a feeling of peace, and I have no idea because and you really hang on to those moments.
I often think with my kids, what are some of the sort of fundamental life foundations that I want them to focus on, that I want to help build for them. Both of my parents were very community focused, and so I love sort of integrating my kids into community and making sure they're connected with the people around us. Are there things that maybe your dads have informed, or ways that your dads have informed your life that you would hope maybe passes down to your kids?
Yeah, it's that, honestly, that gives me goosebumps because like when my dad passed, like there was just so many people would stop me in our community and be like, oh, are you Scott Madden? Like, you're Peter Madden's son. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, like, I just need to stop and tell you, like, what your dad, like, how much of an amazing person your dad was. And there was people I was talking to on the phone, like my phone would ring and people would just want to have a chat, like, and that happened for, 8 weeks, like nearly every day, just people just like, we had people come and buy products from us and, they're like, oh, just letting you know, you don't know me, but I knew your dad. And like, that made me realize, wow, like, that's like, that is so powerful that my dad just, that all continues on. And like, if I look at my kids, if I can be that for my kids, and one day when my time's up, if my name can continue in the community, they must realize, like, wow, dad's done something special.
It makes you think about the little interactions that you have every day that can have a lasting impact
100%,
on people.
Yeah, it's just, connections, everything. And I think you never know when your time's up, so just make sure you're doing things that you love with people you love. I think that's the main thing.
So if we bring it back to more of a professional lens and a career lens with your boys, what would you encourage them to seek out? How would you encourage them to live their lives and to, find a profession that gives them some purpose in life?
I feel like the biggest thing is showing them effort. Like, we like to show them, not necessarily even just tell them, but showing them through our actions. Like, we move our bodies, we eat healthy, we do our work, but we also have a lot of fun. Like, something that I'm so proud of is how fun our house is, and learning, I think learning boundaries and just knowing when to work hard and, when to have fun. I think that's a big thing as well,
You realise, like, they literally just watch you, as you know. Like,
oh my God.
They just watch you, and
which is terrifying sometimes.
Like, you just, like, sometimes I catch, like, our little guys just, like, looking at me, and then they'll do certain things, and it's not that I told them to do. Like, there's this one thing I do every time they're in the bath. I'll do like 100 push-ups. Like, I just do this thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, sweet, I got 10 minutes, and then they'll get out of the bath, and in the kitchen you'll see Max try and do some push-ups. And it's not that I said, like, hey, you got to do push-ups. They just watch you. And I think as well, one day they'll see our work ethic as well, and they'll realise, like, wow, like, mum and dad have really, like, worked hard to buy us the family home and to do this, and they'll appreciate that. And I think I'm so excited just to let them become who they're meant to be, like, not force them in anything. And
are they already showing you? Can you kind of
we've got one, like,
where they're headed?
Maxie, our eldest, he's very, like, creative, so you just kind of try and encourage him, like, and then our youngest, he's very sporty so far.
Well, you don't realise that the youngest one is always fighting above their weight, right? Like, they're the ones that, like,
they got to keep up.
They got to keep up. And, like, so they're obviously I think they're gonna be different boys, but they're the best of brothers for sure.
That's so sweet. It's so special being a boy mum.
Oh, I love it.
I
love kicking the ball, have running races, get to the end of the running race, and then Max would be like, okay, now 10 squats. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm getting trained here.
I know. Do you know, something that I find really interesting in sort of your world at the moment is, everyone talks about hustle and hustle culture, and then people start talking about micro retirements because they're hustling so hard they need to take 3 months off instead of 2 weeks off. What's your sort of approach? Yeah, I know. I would love a micro retirement. What's your approach in life? You know, you're running a business, you have 2 young children, you have a lot of balls in the air. What's your approach to kind of getting the balance right? I know you're never going to get it perfect every day, every week, every month of every year, but how do you try to set some balance in your life as a family?
I think when you're doing something that you love, like always coming back to that, you know, that passion, like when you have that purpose, it's you know, what a day would look like to us might be crazy to someone. And it's not that we, you know, have to do these hours and we have to do this. We just do it because we genuinely love it. And we obviously always have that family time as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like creating boundaries. And before kids, you know, you work from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. So something that, you know, we're always learning. Our eldest is almost turning 5 now, so it's been an ongoing process. But now I feel like we've really mastered the boundaries. Like, you know, when we pick them up, we're like off our phones. We're not doing work unless we're launching something. Yeah. Sometimes we're tag teaming with that.
Yeah. And then I think getting like, we were someone where we kind of held back because we did a lot in the business, and we were kind of we kind of knew how to do a lot of the business. And we started then, as we started to grow, we're in a position now where we can employ some people, and we've brought more people on. And what you kind of realize is that, hey, you actually weren't that good at it, and now you've got someone in the position that's really good at that. So now, rather than trying to be really good at everything, I just focus on a couple of things that I'm really good at, rather than 10 different things. And that has just, you know, taken so much weight off our shoulders, I think.
For sure. And I think it's realizing as well where you're going to be most efficient. Sometimes you need to be okay with that being 85%. It's not 100%, but they did it a lot faster. And then you got to spend time doing X, Y, Z, or just like being like, hey, I'm not really the best at doing this, so let's offload it and work on something else that's going to move the needle forward. I think that's what we try and do every day, is just like, okay, what's going to help move the needle forward? Am I going to spend 3 hours on this task and someone else can do it in an hour? So yeah, I think that's been a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before I let you go, we're obviously called the payoff, which I think relates to many things in life. But is there something in your experience so far in business, a decision, a venture, a big leap that has really paid off for you?
Yeah, I think some of us, when we're facing hard times in life, I think we tend to play victim. But I think by trying to get out of those hard times is where you learn the best lessons, because no one can really teach you that unless you're in it. And I look at my life back, you know, when I was 21 and I was at actual rock bottom. I couldn't really see a life into my 30s because I just couldn't see it happening. And those lessons that it taught me, and being in that position really allowed me to, you know, learn these lifelong skills and dealing with amounts of stress, because, you know, business is quite stressful day to day, and you need to build that resilience. And I think you kind of need to experience that first. And, you know, they're lessons that, you know, I'll hold on for a lifetime.
I think like with both of us, with both of our stories, there's been so many like big decisions or big leaps that we've had to take that have ultimately led us to here. And we're very like open-minded, you know, we're open. Nothing is ever a failure. It's only feedback. So I think that's something that we both carry very strongly. So the biggest payoff with doing everything is just the impact that we have on people, and hearing people say, you know, that they're feeling a lot better, and that's basically our goal, is to make wellness simple. But then the other impact is just how much more solidified we are in our values and what we do, because like I said before, we're very big on practicing what we preach, and we want to make sure that we are leaders and inspiration in this space as well, of not just running a business. So, and
if you're healthy and if your health is in check, then, like, you know, the world's your oyster. Like,
totally,
you can, you know, you've got so much left in life, and I think we undervalue that sometimes. If we're going through a hard time where we might not have any money, but if your health is okay, then, you know, we've got opportunity.
Well, that is wealth. That is rich.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, it's been so lovely chatting. Thank you so much for giving me some time today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure.